Hi there, my name is Nick Martellero and I'm here to present our experiences using remote-controlled speech agents to explore music experience and context on behalf of my collaborators Sarah Mennekin, Jennifer Tom, and Henriette Kramer from Spotify, and Wendy Ju from Cornell Tech. Interactive music services are an example system where understanding and designing for use in context is really important but often hard to do. People listen to music in all kinds of places, at all hours of the day, and through many different devices. It would be great to observe, prototype, and test in all these environments, but that's often not possible due to it being hard to access people's personal environments, challenging to schedule time with users, or perhaps due to global circumstances that prevent anyone from meeting in person. The Spotify team was interested in exploring how to understand listener experience in different environments without always having to be with the user. To do this, we created DJBot, a remote-controlled speech agent and music player that can allow remote interaction researchers to observe how people interact with their music in context, allow them to conduct contextual inquiry with users, and to try out new speech-based interactions or music selection capabilities. We conducted a case study looking at music experience in the car and in the home, both environments where people often listen to music and where speech-based interaction with music has become more common. The car and the home also allow us to explore two very different environments. In the car, people are focused on their music as they're driving, and they're also in a fixed location where we can always see them on a camera. Whereas in the home, users are often listening to music as a background activity and they're moving about their home, meaning we could explore how this type of remote research could be done in much less constrained environments. Here's an example interaction of what this looks like in the car. In this clip, Spotify team members had DJBot suggest a song for the driver, who knows the song, turns up the volume, and it even makes a personal comment about the song.
This is Iggy Pop, the passenger.
Oh, really? I love this song. I actually played it in a band. I love it.
And here's what this looks like in the home. One thing to note is that we allowed participants to place the camera wherever they felt comfortable, and we only turned on the camera and the microphone during scheduled sessions with the participant. In this clip, we'd already pulled up a karaoke music playlist that the user had requested. However, after listening to the first song, the user gives their feelings about the song choice and asks to change directions.
I wouldn't consider that a karaoke song. DJBot, play good karaoke songs.
I'll give it a try. Is this better?
Yeah.
And here's what our remote team controls behind the scenes. For DJBot, we use Spotify's desktop player with the Spotify Connect feature to remotely control people's music. We then use a custom control interface to send pre-recorded messages, on-the-fly messages, both of these for DJBot to speak, to see live song data, and to take time-synchronized notes on the experience. Our work is inspired by a number of methods to overcome spatial and temporal challenges of in-context research, including Wizard of Oz, experience sampling, and remote user research methods. Building upon this foundation, we've also built our work on more recent work that's explored using conversational interfaces as user research tools for context-dependent use cases. For example, Boardman and Koo of IDEO wrote about using remote-controlled mobile phone-based chatbots to explore service designs for personal fitness, public services, and disease outbreaks. More recently, Wendy and I have explored using speech-based agents to conduct user research in cars, allowing user researchers to explore driving experience on everyday commutes. So our primary research question in this work was, how does a team of professional interaction researchers use DJBot to conduct remote research on music experience? Over the course of our case study deployment, we explored 5 in-car interactions and 3 in-home interactions, where our Spotify team members controlled DJBot and myself and Wendy observed their interactions using DJBot. We chose to work with 5 different users in cars to try to get a breadth of users and different driving experiences. However, we shifted gears a little when we moved to an in-home deployment and explored the experience of one user over the course of 3 sessions so that we could understand what longitudinal style studies might be like with a remote speech agent. We conducted reflective interviews among the team after each session, and we reflected on all of our interactions to generate findings and insights for this paper. So what did we learn? The Spotify team described this setup as similar to being behind the one-way mirror that is common to many on-site usability labs. The team could remotely interact with the user and collaborate with one another at the same time, even though team members were distributed across Boston and San Francisco, and users were either in the San Francisco Bay Area or New York City. One of the team members commented, "It is also good for teams that, like us, are geographically not co-located." That has been a tremendous difference because if we had a Wizard of Oz setup that would just work in Boston or San Francisco, that would be much harder. This way, it made it really easy to be in 3 different places and still all be in it. Using a remote-controlled speech agent also had other benefits. The control interface was iteratively designed to allow the team to have DJBot say messages on the fly or for the team to pre-prepare messages that would quickly be called up during the sessions. The team said this allowed them to move fluidly between early-stage need-finding and contextual inquiry work, and more experimental testing and feedback collection on possible future speech agent interactions. Our shared and time-tracked note system helped the researchers to capture their thoughts in the moment. These notes, as well as being behind a speech agent, helped the team members to reflect on and discuss interactions that they were having during their observations, something that is normally not possible when working in person with the user. Finally, reviewing the notes after the session helped the teams find and discuss salient moments that they had. Using a speech agent also allowed for the team to see more naturalistic experience. For example, our in-home user would often sigh or make comments about how they felt about the music or interaction, similar to the video clip I showed earlier, where the user asked to play good karaoke music. After one of the sessions, a team member said, "This allows really to capture some genuine interactions," versus, the socially more acceptable response that she gave us when we were interacting with her as humans during interviews, and not as DJBot. So what about DJBot was challenging? Well, during the car sessions, loss of network connectivity could leave the researchers without control of DJBot, and users asking where DJBot was. This, of course, limited what the researchers could see and the experience that the users were having. In the home, not having a view of the participant made interactions more difficult. While we allowed the user to choose where to place the camera for privacy reasons, the unconstrained environment of the home meant that the video couldn't be used to see how our user responded through nonverbal cues, something that's often helpful during in-person sessions and something that made these sessions a little bit more limited. Across both the car and home sessions, the researchers also found it hard to be a bot. In this case, the users felt that people already had expectations of how a speech agent should be, and sometimes interactions felt stunted. The researchers were slow to respond to queries, or sometimes the conversations felt too smart, and thus it also threw off the experience. Finally, while the user knew that there were people from the team observing them during the sessions, they did not always connect that they were the same people interviewing them afterwards. This meant that follow-up sessions could sometimes be a little stunted, where the team had to build up rapport with the user, even though they felt like they knew so much about the user. Some considerations we have for other researchers looking to use remote-controlled speech agents in their work are to set up video capture in places where you can see the user and the context throughout the interaction, to set up a back channel for your team to communicate behind the digital one-way mirror, and to identify things that are easy and hard for you to control as a bot, and to iteratively build up your control interface to allow various kinds of open-ended and automated interaction. We invite you to check out our paper to see more discussion on the benefits and challenges of using speech agents for remote in-context experience explorations. Also, feel free to contact us if you have any comments or questions. We would enjoy hearing from you. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.